Welcome to the Explainer. If you're a homeowner in Florida, you're well aware that the cost of living in paradise can be, well, pretty steep. But what if I told you there are ways to seriously cut down your biggest home-related expenses? That's exactly what we're doing today, breaking down a super clear, actionable guide on how you can lower both your home insurance and mortgage costs right here in the Sunshine State.
But before we really dive in, I want to give you a heads up on our sources. All the data, all the recommendations you're about to see, it all comes from My Financial Programs, which actually went out and surveyed thousands of Florida homeowners. We've got the links right here on the screen for you, so you can dig in deeper later if you want.
Okay, here's how we're going to tackle this. We've broken our guide into 5 key parts. First, we'll get a handle on the problem itself. Then we'll jump into real solutions for both your insurance and your mortgage. After that, we'll see why your specific city matters so much, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple checklist you can use to get started.
So first things first, let's just get on the same page. No, you're not imagining it. Owning a home in Florida really does come with some unique financial hurdles. And the biggest one of them all, by a long shot, is the crazy cost of home insurance.
Let's put some actual numbers to this, because this is where it really hits home. For a pretty typical $300,000 house, the average Floridian is paying almost $4,000 a year just for insurance. Now, look at the chart. You can see that's more than double the national average. It is a massive and pretty unique financial burden that people in the state have to deal with.
But here is the most important part. You are not powerless here, okay? There are 2 big levers you can pull to bring these costs down. And the first one, which is often the most powerful, is getting that home insurance bill under control. So let's start right there.
So, how do you even begin to save? Well, first, you got to understand what's pushing your costs so high in the first place, right? Once you know the main drivers, you can start to tackle them one by one.
A whole bunch of things go into calculating your premium. And yeah, you can't change the weather, but you absolutely can influence some of the other factors. And believe it or not, one of the biggest ones is the age of your home and how it was built. And here's why that build date is so critical. The year 2001, that was a real turning point for Florida's building codes. Any home built after that date is just built tougher, more resilient to hurricanes, which makes them way cheaper to insure. So, if you've got an older home, bringing it up to these modern standards can mean huge savings.
Of course, the company you pick makes a massive difference too. And based on a really detailed survey, we're talking almost 4,000 Florida homeowners sharing their experiences with cost and service, a few names just kept rising to the top.
And right there at the top of the list is USAA. Look at that, an incredible 95% recommendation rate from its members. Chubb, State Farm, and Amica also got really high marks for finding that sweet spot between great coverage and fair cost. So these are all fantastic places to start when you're getting quotes.
And hey, beyond just shopping around, there are things you can actively do to lower your bill. The single most effective action for a lot of Floridians? Getting a wind mitigation inspection. This report basically proves you have features like hurricane shutters or a strong roof, and that can unlock some major discounts. A new roof, bundling your policies, even a security system, it all helps chip away at that premium.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about that other huge expense, your mortgage. With Florida's real estate market being so strong, refinancing can be an incredibly powerful way to lower your monthly payment, maybe shorten your loan, or even tap into your home's equity.
When you start looking at the options, it's really all about what you're trying to achieve. A 15-year fixed loan? That's going to get you the lowest interest rate and help you pay off your home way faster. But if your number one goal is just the lowest possible monthly payment, then the 30-year fixed is probably your best bet. And for our veterans, the VA loan often just offers the best value all around.
So where do you go for this refinance? Well, according to other Florida homeowners, the answer is crystal clear. Credit unions. They just blow everyone else away in satisfaction ratings. People consistently say they love the competitive rates and the personal one-on-one guidance they get.
Now, the application process itself is actually pretty straightforward. First, just get a good sense of your home's current value. Then, shop around. Talk to those lenders. Get your paperwork in order. And finally, here's a little insider Florida tip for you. Try to avoid applying smack in the middle of hurricane season. Storms can cause some serious delays in the process.
Okay, we cannot talk about costs in Florida without talking about location. Your zip code has a massive impact on your bottom line, especially for insurance. Let's just look at a quick tale of 2 cities.
It's just staggering. For the exact same $300,000 home, your average insurance premium in Fort Lauderdale is nearly $5,000 a year. But in Jacksonville, it's less than $1,700.
That is a difference of over $3,000 a year. It just perfectly shows why you absolutely have to get local quotes to find the best possible deal.
Whew, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's boil it all down into a super simple checklist to get you started saving money like today.
Here's your game plan. Number 1, get a wind mitigation inspection. Seriously. Number 2, shop for insurance with those top companies we talked about. When you're thinking about a refi, make your first call to a local credit union. Compare a 15-year versus a 30-year loan to see what really works for you. Oh, and an easy one? Ask about raising your insurance deductible. Just taking a few of these steps can genuinely save you thousands.
And just one last reminder, if you want that city-specific data, you want to see lender ratings, or just do a deeper dive on any of this stuff, My Financial Programs is really your go-to resource.
Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Look, we know this can all feel like a lot to take in, but the most important thing is just to start. Really, whether it's making one phone call for an insurance quote or just looking up home sales in your neighborhood, taking that first small step is what truly matters.